So you've been laying in bed for hours, tossing and turning, and you just can't seem to get to sleep. What can you do? How can you solve this? Let's talk a little bit about that. Hey guys, welcome back to Tipharot. It's me, Matt here, and today I want to talk about getting to sleep quicker and what you can do when you're struggling to sleep. Now, I'm gonna preface this with the fact that my answer may not work for you, because sometimes you can just have, insomnia to the point that you're just not getting any sleep for a few hours and your body just won't let you. Sometimes it can be really severe. And so what I'm going to actually try and do in this video is not just give you tips on how you can get to sleep faster, but also give you some tips on what to do if you really can't get to sleep no matter what. So first of all, some basic tips on how to get to sleep faster. Number one, block out all light. That includes light from electronics. So if your computer is on standby or something and you've got like the monitor light, shining on, or you've got like the light from the speakers under your desk or something, if any of that is on, you want to turn that off. All of those little lights are going to affect you because your body is designed to produce melatonin, which helps you with your sleep, in response to darkness, and any amount of light can prevent that from being produced, which can really keep you up alert and awake for longer than you need to be. So block out all light. You can try using a sleep mask. Some people find that they don't work as well as they'd like them to, and some people find them uncomfortable, but try that out if you really can't get rid of all the light. Try closing the blinds on your windows if you've got street lights out there, or even completely blacking out the windows if you want to go extreme with it. That will really help. The next thing is make sure that you're in a comfortable bed. This is actually the one that resolved most of my sleep problems. You see, I wasn't sleeping in the most comfortable of beds. I actually had other beds to sleep in, but I was just sleeping in one out of habit because I, used it for a long time. And I had been having all these sleeping problems. I just would go to bed and I would lay there for hours and I just couldn't get to sleep. And if I went to sleep late one night, I could only fall asleep even later the next night. So my sleep pattern was all over the place and it was just a mess. Anyway, I moved to a different bed, a much more comfortable one, and bam, overnight all my sleeping issues were resolved. So the bed that you're in really does matter. You might be able to fall asleep in an uncomfortable bed. I can fall asleep on a wooden floor or whatever, I can do that. But if it's not, the most comfortable, it can affect your sleep pattern in the long run and it can cause you to have sleep issues. So if you don't have the most comfortable bed, then look at getting a new one. And if you can't afford a new one, look at ways of making your existing one more comfortable. Maybe, add extra blankets or get a better pillow, whatever you need to do. Adjust the bed accordingly and your sleep pattern will improve. Next, I suggest you have a bedtime routine. We are creatures of habit and our mind associates things with what we do. So for example, if we do things in a certain way when we're feeling very alert and very awake and so on, then our mind is going to be conditioned to feel alert and awake when we do those things. If on the other hand we do things when we're very relaxed and sleepy and about to go to bed, then our mind is conditioned to think that, hey, when we do those things, it's time for bed. So for example, create a 20 to 30 minute routine. Maybe read a book, go brush your teeth, and just lay down in bed and relax for a little bit, just thinking about your day, kind of closing off any thoughts that you have been thinking about all day that you want to put aside and leave for tomorrow. Do that and then go to bed. And once you've been doing that for a week or two, every time that you're struggling with insomnia and unable to sleep, once you actually start doing this routine, you're going to find that you're starting to feel sleepy and it's easier to get to sleep. Now for me personally, I like to listen to ASMR videos. If you don't know what ASMR is, you should search it, read up about it. It's basically a type of thing where certain sounds and so on make you feel really relaxed, and so those help with sleep anyway. And I like to listen to them before bed, so immediately when I put one on, I know it's time for bed, so I get really relaxed and it's easier for me to sleep. Perhaps those will work for you, or perhaps you can come up with your own routine. Now the next tip that I have for you is don't build up a negative association with your bed. And what I mean by this is don't build up this association that whenever you're in your bed you're not sleeping. If you're someone that does lie there, tossing and turning for 3 or 4 hours before you get to sleep, don't do that. If you find that after 15-20 minutes you haven't fallen asleep, get out of bed and do something relaxing for a while until you feel like you're getting more tired, and then go to bed. Now this also applies for people who just can't seem to get to sleep even once you've applied all my other tips. If you can't get to sleep, then don't just lie there trying to get to sleep over and over. Otherwise you're going to associate your bed with just lying there. and that's going to make it impossible to fall asleep in future and make the situation worse. So when you haven't been able to sleep for about 15 to 20 minutes, get out of bed and, keep the lights dim, but read a book. Don't go on your computer or your phone or watch TV. Those things are just going to wake you up and make you more alert. Do something relaxing, maybe have a drink of water, read a book, maybe write something down, write out your thoughts for the day, kind of do some journaling or something like that. Listen to some ASMR or some relaxing sounds, a guided meditation or a hypnosis track or something like that. And just let yourself relax. Just lay in bed once you're actually feeling a bit more relaxed and stuff. But don't actually try to sleep until you feel like you've actually got a good chance at succeeding. Otherwise, you're just going to associate your attempts of sleep with failure. And, that's not a good way to do it. The last thing that I suggest is actually looking at your sleep pattern and the hours that you go to sleep. You see, we're designed to be up in the day and asleep at night. I know some people like to say that they're night owls, but the fact of the matter is that's not true. We are designed in such a way that our brain releases melatonin in response to darkness. And darkness happens at night, and if you're up, at night, then melatonin is being released, and you might feel more alert because that's the time that you're used to being up, but you've still got that melatonin being released, and it's still making you, lower energy than you would be if you're up in the day. And then when you actually try to go to sleep in the day, you don't have that melatonin being released, so it's harder to get to sleep. Your sleep isn't as deep. You struggle to stay asleep. If you wake up, it's hard to go back to sleep. And in general, it just messes with your sleep pattern. So unless you are in a situation where you have to be up in the night and asleep in the day, like for example, it's your job makes it that way, then don't do that. Be up in the day, sleep at night. I know it can be a pain to adjust the sleep pattern initially, but it is really, really worth it, and you're going to find it's extremely beneficial and makes it much easier to get a restful night's sleep. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you guys out. If you did enjoy the video, remember to subscribe up there because we've got regular videos that come out multiple times a week. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Also, you can add me on Twitter at Tipharot, and if you want to keep watching, check out the video that's linked on screen. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.